Take the red pill, you stay in Wonderland, and I show you how deep the rabbit hole is.
This isn't just a recap of The Matrix, it's jam-packed with spoilers. The events of The Matrix take place around the year 2199. All of the scenes in the film that appear to be from the year 1999 are fictitious. It's just a computer-generated simulation software designed to enslave humanity. The Matrix is the name of this computer simulation. The Matrix was followed by two blockbusters, The Matrix Reloaded, May 2003, and The Matrix Revolutions, November 2003. The Matrix 1999. Neo is found and released from the Matrix, allowing him to enter what we assume to be the real world, a world destroyed by machines with a human-polluted atmosphere and beneath corridors filled with different gigantic spacecraft meant to hack into the Matrix. The Matrix is a vast, networked computer system driven by human minds, and this film is about the process of learning about it. The folks we follow are in a constant state of flux between reality and the Matrix. These avatars can be put into their own sandbox of code when they hack into the Matrix. This region allows them to introduce weapons and/or goods that they may later put into the Matrix. The Oracle, one of the many major characters in the film, is introduced in this scene, a self-aware computer that informs our protagonists precisely what they need to know. Neo leaves with a cookie from the Oracle, which sounds disturbingly similar to browser cookies. After some small chat, he bites down, taking a sliver of code from the all-knowing Oracle. Neo believes he is the one because of Morpheus, but the Oracle neither confirms nor rejects this, and since Neo can't show himself to be anything more than an ordinary human connected into the system, is he truly the one? We don't find out until the conclusion of the movie, when Neo gets shot 8 times in the chest by an agent program. We are led to assume he dies in the real world since he appears to be dead in the Matrix, and a body without a mind cannot survive. This is the one, whose Matrix counterpart ultimately recognizes it, possibly thanks to the Oracle's cookie and Trinity's kiss, and awakens from the Matrix's death. Neo sees the universe for what it is, a collection of computer code, now that he has this new deep understanding that this reality is a lie. The Matrix is a fraud, and Neo is well aware of it. He immediately engages in combat with an agent, leaping inside its body and killing it. From this conversation, we may deduce that Neo's Matrix code has collided with that of a Matrix program, which is essential to understanding the future films.
I am the architect. I created the Matrix.
Number 2, The Matrix Reloaded, 2003. As the film opens, we see Zion, which is first shown as an all-white ordered paradise. The Matrix agents are intended to locate and destroy the last remaining human civilization in the real world, which is buried deep below. We discovered that brains who refuse to accept the Matrix are no longer viable energy sources, rendering them useless to machines. The machines cast these corpses out for death, presumably unaware that Zion people are saving and returning these rejects to Zion. This is why Neo took the red pill in the first film. It interrupted his real-world signal, fooling the Matrix into believing he was rejecting the simulation he was being given. Our heroes were able to locate and preserve his rejected corpse in the actual world, as a body that hasn't moved isn't quite usable. Agent Smith, who was murdered at the end of the first Matrix film, has returned. However, he is not connected to the machine's mainframe, implying that he is a rogue software. Smith begins to replicate himself, taking over other programs, including the body of a real-world person jacked into the Matrix, much like a virus. This is a huge concern, since Agent Smith, who lived entirely inside the Matrix, has taken over a human's consciousness. When this body is taken from the Matrix, it will carry the rewritten mind, which in this case is Agent Smith. The audience is now terrified that Agent Smith is similar to our human protagonists, able to exist in both the Matrix and the real world. Agent Smith has his own objective. He just wants to see the world burn, from the assassination of Neo through the destruction of Zion and the claim of every program within the Matrix. He is unconcerned about the consequences for the brains involved. All he wants is complete control. Neo must travel to meet the source of the Matrix, also known as the Architect. This trip is not simple and takes up a significant amount of the film. Back at Zion, it's learned that the machines are excavating towards Zion rather than mindlessly wandering millions of miles of tunnels. Neo comes to the conclusion that he was either lied to or that no one knew. The Architect begins by revealing that Neo is in the Matrix's 6th incarnation. Except for the One and the Architect, no one knows about the 6th incarnation of the Matrix. The first iteration of AI failed due to the shortage of options and a lack of understanding how the world works. This resulted in the second iteration, in which the architect made the world flawed while also creating a software to learn from people, which we later discovered to be the Oracle. The Oracle and the architect collaborated on the third iteration, which gave humans, test subjects, a near-conscious sense of choice. This worked for 99% of mankind, and the remaining 1% was let free to find Xeon, as an unbound mind within the Matrix would only heighten the risk of catastrophic collapse. Neo inhabits the body of Agent Smith in the Matrix films. His brain code is executed on a computer program with a portion of it remaining. The second film concludes with Neo passing out next to Bane, who we now know to be the real-life Agent Smith. Number 3. The Matrix Revolutions, 2003. Agent Smith's impending terror in the actual world is compounded by the machine's proximity to Xeon's surface, the whole Matrix world virtually devoured by Agent Smith and the machine's proximity to Xeon's surface. We've arrived at an intriguing dilemma that hasn't appeared in prior Matrix installments. Neo is also imprisoned between the Matrix and the actual world, presumably because the machines are angry that he did not make the right decision, preventing his software from leaving the Matrix and entering the real world. We discover in the last film that Xeon's council has dispatched 2 ships to give Neo with support. They realize that stopping hundreds of thousands of Sentinels is impossible, so they begin to trust Neo and his plan. Neo and Trinity board a brand new ship bound for the machine homeland, a location that has never been seen by any of our characters. Bane, Agent Smith, was hidden aboard the ship and attacks Neo with the intention of murdering him. The crew of Neo is rescued by another spacecraft meant to join the fight against the robots. Neo eventually encounters the Deus Ex Machina, the machine's commander. Given that the robots have very certainly anticipated every event, listening to Neo is in their best interests. The Matrix is on the verge of collapsing, and the potential of all humanity tied to it dying is quite real. In light of this risk, the machine commander fulfills Neo's desire. On the condition that Xeon destroys the renegade agent program that devastated the Matrix, he will be granted peace. Neo is killed as a result of this, but the Sentinels and Xeon withdraw their attack. The robots have kept their part of the agreement, and the Matrix has entered its 7th incarnation. Agent Smith is unaware that the machines can now communicate directly with the Smith virus and eliminate it. Every human being has a choice thanks to the robots: exit the Matrix for a real yet tough life, or live in a fictitious environment. Perhaps this iteration will survive because there are no people who reject it. What do you think about the movie sequel? Let us know in the comment box below. If you enjoyed this video, then don't forget to like this video, share it with your friends, subscribe to our channel, and hit the blue bell to be the first to know about our latest videos.